Well, hello everyone. It's Angela with Treasure Trove Tarot, also known here on YouTube as Mystic Moon. Welcome to my second channel and welcome to a reading where we're going to go into the next chapter of your life. So let's take a look and see what might be coming through for the next chapter of your life in just all different areas. Obviously, just take what resonates for you and get rid of anything that doesn't. Decks I'll be using will be listed down below, as well as this orgonite here, which is called the Green Witch Rose. So let's get into the messages. So what's the next chapter of our lives? Let's see what Spirit wants us to know about the next chapter of our lives opening up. What do we need to know, Spirit, about the next chapter of our lives? Let's look at this. What is the next chapter of our lives? Ooh, we have Elizabeth and the Lion. It says, it is time to become a great leader. So maybe if your name is Elizabeth, this could be a very special message for you. The lion is connected to the sign of Leo, so that could be something as well. But hey, this is about being a great leader. And I feel like some of you guys, this could be the next chapter is that you're going to be more in a power position, like a position of royalty, or you're going to get a promotion, you're going to level up in some way in your life, you're going to take back your power, you're going to take on something that maybe you were not really feeling too confident about before, but you're certainly going to have the confidence moving forward. So that's amazing. Let's go ahead and get a couple of tarot cards about what this is about. What is this leadership position, or taking back your power, or feeling really powerful? What does this entail? Let's look at this. What does this entail? Ooh, I like this because the Eight of Swords says imprisonment. You're breaking out of that prison, you guys. So if it's been a mental prison, a certain thought that has been rolling back and forth in your head and you just feel like you cannot break out of a cycle, you are overcoming this. That's exactly what that means. So maybe there is a situation that you have been in for quite some time, a living situation, a crappy, job, or just a way of being. You're breaking the chains that are binding you and you're taking back your power. And you're basically telling other people how it's going to be. So you're speaking your truth. I love this. So the next chapter is going to be breaking chains and stepping into your power. Love it. And we have the Death card, which totally makes sense. We transition into the next phase. So it doesn't matter. I mean, it could be that you have been dealing with somebody that has been giving you the runaround for quite some time. And maybe they're saying, I'm so sorry now that it's so late. Now that you finally mean business, they're like, I'm so sorry. And you might be saying, I don't care. I'm done with this. It's too late. Okay, it could be that. It's too late. But whatever this move is, you guys, it's very, very powerful, and it's actually going to open up a new door to the next phase of your life. So the next chapter is going to be completely different than what you have been experiencing so far. If you've been feeling confused, lost, or just been feeling low vibrational, or other people seem to have had some sort of power over you, you're taking it back. So this is connected to the sign of Scorpio, which is Pluto, death, transformation. Love it. And we have two energies that just came up. I was only going to grab one, but hey, here's two. Queen of Cups, intuition, Cancer's energy, and Nine of Wands, stamina. You have what it takes to get through this fight. Yes. So the Queen of Cups is about emotions. It's also about honoring your emotions and trusting your intuition. So I'm getting here that you guys know deep down without a shadow of a doubt that this is the correct move. The Nine of Wands means that no one's getting in. Doesn't really depict it well in this card, but I like it in the Rider-Waite tarot because it shows a guy who's standing in front of 8 sticks. And I think he's holding one. And he looks really beat up. And there's a wolf that's trying to get in, or maybe that's a different deck, but there's a wolf that's trying to get in and he's not letting anybody in. So you're standing your ground, very firm here. You're standing your ground and you're saying, nope, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this again. I've learned my lesson. or I just know that this isn't right for me any longer and I just have to do what I have to do. So maybe you've been wavering back and forth with something. So the next chapter is you're no longer wavering. You are making a decision and you're sticking to it, and other people are going to recognize it and they might beg for your forgiveness or they might beg for you to stay. And I'm just seeing here, you're not going to let it happen because you know that you deserve more and that you need to honor yourself. That's what I'm getting here, because you could have been this back and forth energy with this person or situation for quite some time, and they've had all this time to do it differently, but they chose not to. Okay? Or this just could be you. You've been rolling around in this for so long. It's like it's finally time to start taking care of you. You know you deserve better. And you are going to be able to get through whatever this ending is or whatever is next for you. That is awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on into another oracle deck and see what else is coming through for the next chapter of our lives. We have such a curious dream, grounding, returning to reality, coming home. Okay, so what I'm seeing, you guys, is it could be that maybe you were caught up in a dream. And maybe you really wanted something in a certain situation. You really wanted it to work out. You really wanted something to happen. You dreamt about it. You felt it was right for you. And it just kind of turned out that it just wasn't really based in reality, or that you're just kind of coming back down to earth and realizing, you know what, this is just no longer for me. So the next chapter of your life is really because you are finally pulling out or pulling the plug on something that maybe you've been invested in for quite some time. You're pulling the plug out of this confused thinking or maybe even fantasy-based thinking, and you're just realizing, you know what? There's more to life than just this, and I'm no longer going to waste my time drinking this cup of tea because it's not really nourishing me or getting me anywhere. So I'm going to put this down and I'm going to focus on something else. So I think that's awesome. Oh my gosh, and what it brings in, you guys, is a new relationship. Oh my gosh, look at this. So I kind of feel like if you've had sadness and disappointment in an old situation, by walking away from it, you're actually introducing yourself to somebody new, somebody that's better suited for you guys, somebody that you can actually have a relationship with. So if you were hoping and praying that maybe you and someone else in the past would be a thing or have a relationship and a commitment and it never happened, well, guess what? Once you let go, you're going to open yourself up to a new dream with someone new. That's what it is. Somebody that you can actually have a relationship with, like a real relationship. Sometimes people can have a relationship with somebody from their past, as in it's all in their mind. There were plenty of times in my life where I literally was existing in this like other world with a particular person, and it just was everything that I was feeling and thinking, but really nothing was actually happening in reality. But it was just the way I needed to process it and work it out. So sometimes that's happened. Sometimes we realize, oh, you know what? This is actually just not really, it's not real. And that's okay. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and move towards something that is real. So we start putting ourselves out there again. We start actively meeting people. And I just feel like that's what you guys are going to be doing. You're unplugging from some sort of energy and you're moving towards things that are in front of you, people that you can actually touch and interact with. That's beautiful. Oh my gosh, and it's 9 of Cups. So you want to talk about like dreams? To me, this is more satisfying for you. It's going to be more satisfying for you guys to actually interact with this person in a physical way, because I feel like maybe this was not happening. Whatever you had in mind or whatever you had envisioned with someone, it just was not matching up in reality. And so the best thing that you can do now is to enter into reality, into a world where you can touch people and interact with them and spend time with them and actually talk to them. That's going to be better suited for you. That's going to bring more satisfaction. That's actually going to be a real like dream coming true. You're like living your dream because you're actually interacting in the dream, right? Instead of just in your head or your thoughts. Oh my gosh, and we have the Star. The Star is Aquarius energy. It's all about hope. So there's this renewed hope. There's this renewed faith in life again. Like, wow, I didn't believe that I would ever love again, or I didn't believe I'd ever be happy again, but I am. And I'm so glad that I basically took that risk, or that I took a chance on something new by closing up that old chapter. So this new chapter that's opening up for you guys is actually a positive one. It's very hopeful. The stars are aligning in order to make it happen. But I just feel like, we're disconnecting from whatever this is in order to bring in, we're taking back our power. We're no longer in this imprisoned state, going nowhere. We're just done with it. We're letting it go. So something new can come in. And it's not about replacing one thing for another, but I just feel that once you guys let something go, and this Two of Cups doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic relationship. This could just be the current shitty circumstances that you're in right now, which can be, a crappy friendship, a crappy just partnership, business partnership, could be a working place that you're working at right now, maybe something with a family member, or of course a romantic partner. But I just feel like when you make this decision to better suit your needs, which is the Nine of Cups to me, this is actually going to be mirrored in your physical reality, and you're going to start experiencing some new, amazing, enjoyable things. So that's pretty awesome. All right, so let's go ahead and go on into the next deck. What else do we need to know about what's the next chapter opening up for us? So we're ending one chapter and we're opening up a new one when it comes to a partnership, a relationship. And we have ancient. Interesting. So of course, immediately I'm like, ancient history. Something's ancient history. But let's see what we get. Okay, so the paranormal, interesting. So this is actually an oracle deck inside of this particular deck. So it's not a tarot card, but the paranormal curiosity. So this is interesting. Something is ancient history, right? But there's something like very, very cool about where you're headed next. So it might be something that you guys have never experienced before. It's a certain type of friendship or love or vibration. And there's something that actually feels a little like just you're very curious about it. It's a mystery. It's something where you want to learn. Now, ancient history could also be like, I want to learn something. I'm learning so much with this next experience. So I definitely feel like there's something for you guys to learn in the next chapter of your life. Ooh, and we have message. So this message, actually, what I'm seeing here, could come from your spirit guides, or it could come from some kind of visitation from a passed over loved one, where you get a message in a dream, or you're being shown something about your future partner. And ancient can be ancestors. Maybe you guys are working with your ancestors and you're getting messages about your life in some way. It could be about your love life, but it could also just be about your life in general. So some of you guys are really working with this energy and you're getting messages from your ancestors and your passed over loved ones or your spirit team. Wow, very cool. And we have the Knight of Cups, and you're an empath, psychic. This is Pisces energy, very spiritual. There's something about moon phases or dreams. So somebody is coming to you and visiting you in a dream, or there's some sort of a message that comes in, especially when the moon is in a certain phase. It's very strong message. So be on the lookout for this. When you wake up, write your dreams down. There's a message from an ancestor or a passed over loved one. That's just what I'm getting. And so this is helping you to gain clarity on the next chapter of your life. Some of you guys could be getting messages right now about ending whatever situation that you might still be stuck in. It's like your ancestors as well as your passed over loved ones are giving you messages that you need to get out, that you need to be done with that. So that way you can open yourself up to a new partner. Now, the Knight of Cups can be a new offer of love. And I just feel like it's probably a new offer of love here that's on the horizon for you. It's a message about a future partner. It's a message on something that's better for you or right for you. Wow, that is so cool. So it's a really interesting message. All right, let's go ahead and get one last message here with the last Oracle deck. What else do we need to know about the next chapter in our lives? Okay, so this one, okay, I'm telling you, there is a spirit realm is with you. Angel de los Muertos. Yeah, transition of the spirit realm. There's spirit realm is with you guys. So somebody is being visited by an ancestor, a passed over loved one, kind of the same thing. If you've known them or you didn't know them, there's some kind of spirit with you that's trying to communicate with you about the next chapter of your life. Now, you could also feel like you're being called to mediumship, working with with people that are on the other side. That can be it as well. But this is about honoring. This is about honoring and traditions even. Maybe some of you guys are wanting to practice a certain tradition, maybe even religion. And I feel like you're being guided to whatever that is. This next chapter of your life is going to be very it's very enriching. I don't know if that's a word, but it's enriching your life in some way. And you're being called to this folk magic or culture or religion or something. And it's going to either lead you on your purpose and your mission, or to your partner, or to just the next chapter of your life. So definitely pay attention to what's coming to you guys, because it is coming from the spirit realm. Your spirit team is working with you in order to help you to transition to the next phase, this new chapter of your life. Wow, this is really cool. And we have, wow, this right here is the Devil card. This says the habit dependency. Ooh. The Devil, Capricorn energy, Saturn, karma, lessons, burdens, things that weigh you down, obsessions, addictions, everything comes through with the Devil's energy. And it means that there's a habit that maybe we're holding that's no longer good for us, and we are being encouraged to give it up. I don't know what this is for some of you guys, but I feel like you're going to know. And your spirit team has been working with you in certain ways to help you to see that this habit is actually hurting you. This habit is keeping you from the next chapter of your life. That's what it is. So that's why the first messages came through the way that they did. It was very deliberate. And it was very kind of in our faces to say, you're giving something up. You're letting something go. It's a death. It's necessary. You're taking back your power. You can do it. It's necessary. It will lead to good things, but you've got to let something go. All right. Whatever this habit is. I like it. Ace of Swords. This is just knowing it. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's very black and white, actually. There's no in between. And it's funny because I just recently did a reading, I think it was on my TikTok and Instagram, that it talked about letting something go and it being a very black and white energy. And I feel like the picture of the girl, she had black and white hair like this. So I feel like that's connected. So anyways, the Ace of Swords means we are being given this message from the divine, from the spirit realm, that says there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The clarity is there. This is not an emotional decision. This is actually a decision that you're using your intellect to make. When you think about it, you know that this isn't good for you. When you think about it, you just know that this can't continue, whatever that is. I don't know what it is for some of you guys, but whatever it is, you just know. And she is holding dead bones. And there was imagery before of dead energy, right? I don't know where it was. Oh, okay, so yeah, we've got that. I think that's looks like a crocodile to me, but it might not be a crocodile. But I just feel like there was some kind of like imagery. Here it is. See all the skulls. Somebody's like, please, no, right? But it's like something is ending. And that could, of course, be us too, where we don't want something to end, but we know that maybe it's just not serving us any longer, or maybe it's just something that just shouldn't continue, because it is actually keeping us from the next phase of our lives. So we have a big habit to kick, and the only way that we'll transition into the next phase is if we make this decision and take this message that is coming to us from spirit and really listen to this and really do something with this. Take the sword and cut something out, cut something free. And that is for growth purposes. Now we have the Ace of Pentacles, which I just love this. So we can plant a new seed and we can experience abundance and growth. That's what it is. So we're cutting away dead things in order for our plants to flourish. Very cool. And so the new moon in Taurus, which is yesterday, but I always say that the new moon or the full moon, it's like a couple of days before, during, and after. So to me, that period is very strong. And I feel like right now, there are certain things that you guys can do to plant new seeds for the future, cutting away the old. So maybe releasing something and then planting something new for the future. I do have a new moon and Taurus ritual in my newsletter. So I'll put the link down below where you guys can sign up if you want to participate in that. But this is about abundance. This is about things that are going to be growing and providing something, providing fruit instead of dead things, right? Instead of going in circles and getting nowhere kind of thing. So let's go ahead and get a final message. All right, let's get a final message from Spirit here. What's the final message that Spirit wants to bring to us in regards to just what's next in our lives? So we'll use this deck. Okay. We have rebellion. Upstart revolution. Ooh, okay. So some kind of rebel energy, right? If we're a rebel, we're really fighting for something. We're tough. This is going to require us to maybe get in people's faces, not literally, but especially if they're trying to push us to do things that we don't want to do or that we don't agree with. Sometimes we have to rebel and say no, stand our ground. So to me, this really connects to the very first message, which was standing your ground, stepping back into your power, being a rebel, refusing to back down. Okay. Ten of Wands. Okay. So the Ten of Wands is hardship. The Ten of Wands means no one said it would be easy. So whatever this thing is that maybe you're trying to disconnect from or end, maybe you already have ended it. Maybe you're feeling like, oh my gosh, like I did it and I expected that everything was going to get easy right away. It's not reality, because healing takes time, change. We go through different grieving. That's why we have the 5 stages of grief even. So when something ends in your life, it does take time and it does go in stages. So we have to give ourselves time to basically really truly disconnect from the old before we can start to plant seeds for the future. So this is about continuing to be strong, continuing to hang in there, because I feel like some of you guys already made this decision. You guys already cut something out. You guys already said goodbye to something. You guys already left something behind. And what you're finding now is that life didn't get easier. It didn't get better. You really thought that it was going to get better and it didn't. And it's not that things aren't getting better. It's just that you're not seeing anything replace it yet. You're not seeing anything good yet. So you're starting to lose hope. You're starting to question whether or not your decision to cut away from that thing was a good one. So that the ego will do a number on you whenever you try to change or do something here. It's almost like the darkness will come and try to take you down and to keep you stuck and to keep you, what was this word here? What do we get? Let me look at this. Because it's a habit. Habits are hard to break. You're dependent on it. You're dependent on it for happiness. You're dependent on it for, even if it makes you unhappy, it's still a habit. Habits are hard to break, you guys. So just because we decide to stop doing something that isn't good for us, it doesn't mean that we're not gonna want to do it again. So that's why there's such things as Alcoholics Anonymous. There's support systems and support groups out there for really anything, because anything can become a habit. Anything that you're habitually thinking about can become an addiction, and it can be a real hard thing to break. And even when we do the right thing, we think we're going to get rewarded. And when we don't get rewarded, or at least we don't see the rewards yet, we can start to doubt the decisions that we made. So that's the hardship right there. There's no way to sweeten that up for you. Change is hard. I remember my friend, Michelle, who makes these organites. And the only reason I'm saying this is because she's very open about, her work with AA and her past and everything like that, or else I wouldn't mention it. But she's been in AA, I believe, for 5 years now, and she's doing wonderfully. It's a way of living for her. It's her life. But I remember when she first got sober, she was 2 months, and I went to her 60-day chip where she got her 60-day. And I remember her and I were having this conversation, and she was just saying something about how she just didn't really feel like things were great. Like, you know, she's sober, yeah, but it's like, I think, you know, maybe she expected like that she was going to feel differently. And I remember saying this to her, and I said, do you want to know what your prize is? It's sobriety. That's it. It's just sobriety. And I know that at this moment, you don't feel like that feels great, or that that's like really dazzling you. Ooh, sobriety, wow, you know. But at the end of the day, that really was the prize. That really was the payoff, was her sobriety. Because when she was not sober, her life was in shambles. Her life, she destroyed it, and would continue to destroy it had she went down that, or continue to go down that path. So this is about recovery is hard. It is. Recovery from anything, whether you're trying to eat better, exercise, adopt anything new, it is tough. But the rebel is reminding us at the very end of this reading, you can do it. You can beat this. You can beat it. You absolutely can. And if that means that you need to join your own support group, whatever that looks like or is to you, then that might be what you need to do in order to, you know, just have those people, that group of people, your tribe beside you to help you through these tough times. But the next chapter, the next phase of your life, it is going to be better than what you are experiencing right now, or whatever you've experienced in the past. And it might not feel immediate, but be patient and hang in there, because there is something that is on the horizon for you. And it's just about having a little bit more hope and faith that everything will make sense eventually. It will make sense later if it doesn't make sense yet. And we have the Knight of Swords. So the Knight of Swords is Gemini's energy, but the Knight of Swords is of course, swords are thoughts, right? But the swords can also, Knight of Swords can take action on those thoughts. We have idealism. So sometimes the ideas that we have, right? The ideas that we have, which I was just talking about, this idea that if we do the right thing, that suddenly life is going to get better, or that if we get rid of something or close an old door, a new door is going to immediately open and we're going to be happy. It's going to be the answer to our prayers. It's not exactly the way that life works. It's easy to kind of get caught up in that kind of thinking, which is, you know, one day I'll meet Mr. Right or Mrs. Right or whoever. And when we don't get that, sometimes we feel like, oh my gosh, like, you know, I have this idea of what I want, but it's still not coming to me. Why is that not happening? And what I'm just getting with this energy is that we have to kind of fight these thoughts that are in our heads that tell us certain things, and that tell us certain things that this is what happiness is going to look like. Sometimes when we put too much pressure on a thought or a dream or a vision, we don't allow it to just unfold naturally, right? So let's just say you just want to attract someone new into your life, and this is just an example. You want to attract someone new into your life, but you say they need to have blonde hair, they need to have blue eyes, they need to be 6'5", and they need to be involved in sports, and they need to, you know, have all these things that are just ridiculous as far as the description of someone. Instead of, I want to attract someone into my life that I will be happy with, somebody that will be faithful to me, somebody that wants the same things as me, etc. So these ideas that we have of what we think happiness is, it's about just allowing life to happen instead of trying to control what's coming or get these ideas in our head of what we think everything needs to look like or be like. Let's just step into the experience of life and just let things happen naturally. It doesn't mean that we can't have expectations or that we can't have certain criteria, but sometimes we have to look at that criteria and those expectations and see, do we expect too much? What we want, does it even make sense? You know what I mean? And yeah, so that's that. I know somebody that they have a taste for younger men, but they never get their needs met because these younger men, and I'm not saying all younger men are the same, but they don't want to commit. They're players, but yet they have a taste and an attraction to younger men. So what they want versus what they're attracted to, they're stuck within themselves. They're not able to break out of that Eight of Swords cycle because their ideas of what they think they want actually are not matching up with what would be best for them. So sometimes we do have to break out of that mold. And that's just what I feel like that's message is telling us. Fight against your need to box things in, to box everything up. And we have the High Priestess. Love this. High Priestess, inner wisdom. Beautiful. So the High Priestess is all about our intuition, trusting ourselves, right? And also she's holding this book which is full of wisdom. She's trusting her wisdom. She's trusting the things that she's learned so far. She's trusting what she knows. And she's pretty crystal clear about it as well. So this is about maybe pulling back and observing things before saying something, before interacting with something. And I feel like that's a good way to be, because when you observe things long enough, people will tell you everything that you need to know about them. You don't actually even, asking questions is great, but people will reveal who they are if you just give them enough time. People can say all the wonderful things that they want in the world, and it sounds really great, and it's really attractive, and you get sucked in sometimes. But you spend enough time with somebody, you're going to see whether or not they are who they say they are, with their actions and what they do and how they live as a person, what their values are. So I just feel that this last message is kind of a mix of messages about standing in your power and taking some of these ideas that you might have about what either life or love looks like, and really kind of dropping the old and really kind of observing more and speaking less, right? Just kind of seeing, taking a step back and observing and letting things or life reveal itself to you, instead of feeling like life has to be this way or it has to happen in this particular time. Pull back, and I feel like things will be revealed to you on your next steps. Also, less need to know everything before you do things. You know, sometimes we don't trust our intuition. Sometimes we're looking to other people to tell us what to do. And I just feel like we need to take our power back, and we need to start relying more on ourselves for the decisions that we make, instead of looking for other people to tell us something before we actually go into it. And, before we participate in things, because if we're afraid to make mistakes and we're trying to be perfect and we're trying to do everything right, life is going to have a funny way of falling apart. Anybody that I know that tries to do everything perfectly and control it, and they're too afraid to do this and do that, and then they end up making no decisions and not living their lives, the quality of life is really low, because they're trying to overanalyze everything and they get in their own way, and then nothing happens for them. So they're just like constantly in this state of just confusion or fear or whatever. Or then you have people that jump into every experience without thinking about it, without observing things, and then you end up getting burned too. So to me, it's about a balance. It's a nice balance of knowing when to act and knowing when not to speak and not to act, and knowing what to observe, pay attention to those things, trust your gut, trust your intuition, knowing what's for you, what's not right for you. And I feel like all these things are actually going to be the next chapter of our lives. These things are going to be a lot stronger, because maybe before we had to make some mistakes in order to get to this point. But now we're finally at this point where we're the High Priestess. We're looking at our book of destiny and we're saying, okay, this is what I'm going to involve myself in next. This feels right to me, because I know that this didn't feel right in the past. And I know that this is something that maybe I've done in the past, but now I know something different. Now I know how to go about things differently and get a different result this time in life. So anyways, that's what I have for you guys. I hope that there was something in here today that resonated for you and that was helpful to you. So thank you guys so much for choosing to watch this reading, and I hope you guys have an incredible rest of your weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.